Everybody, how y'all doing? So I'm going to start a month, just 1 month series. Okay, I did it with the Divine Feminine. In the month of July, I ran a Goddess month, July Goddess. So this time around, I'm splitting Divine Masculine up in 30 days type of month. Running from September the 16th to October the 16th of 2019 is going to be the Divine Masculine Talk Time. So I knew this moment was coming, but I just didn't know when. So now the Divine Masculine is ready to take his throne as being represented, the speech maker for this, from September the 16th, 2019 to October the 16th, 2019, as far as my videos go anyway. Okay? I don't know what the Divine Masculine is going to talk about. It's just, general messages, just channeling it in. I have a spread that I kind of curated to bring out the messages for the Divine Masculine. So let's go ahead and get into it for everybody who's interested. So I did pull out some cards ahead of time. So one of the cards that I asked for was for the Divine Masculine, give the guide to give up their stage of performance location. So we got Pluto. So this is the in Pluto area. Okay, and the story goes with Follow the White Rabbit. I'm going to read this. That's why the book was sitting out. I'm going to discuss a little bit more of what the rest of the cards is, but right now, let me get into the theme, because if you don't like the theme, you might not want to stay around, but I appreciate everybody who did stop past, because these words right here is kind of tricky. So, let me go ahead and cut that down some. And let me go to read. So this is a quote that I'm about to start off first with. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of his waistcoat pocket and looked at it and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. And burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. So I'm going to read out the story from the author's point of view of what they mean by this card. Something out of the ordinary happens nearly all the time. Most days, if you're aware, awoke, and ready for adventure, there will be an opportunity to change your life. But for this to take place, you must follow the white rabbit. You must go after whatever it is that excites you, inspires you, and entices you. The white rabbit does not go to Alice and ask her to accompany him. It is up to her to notice what is taking place. She does not think about what to do, nor discuss, sit, or ponder. If she had done so, the opportunity of entering Wonderland would have been lost, perhaps forever. When Alice sees how strange and ordinary this rabbit is, she leaps to her feet and she runs. She engages with the opportunity and goes after it. When this card comes to you, you are being advised that something interesting is about to happen. And when it happens, be ready to go after it with all your passion, all your might, and without hesitation. Be awoke and aware. Wonder at what will happen next. And when the extraordinary takes place at the heart of the ordinary world, be ready to leap to your feet and run towards enchantment and adventure. So if This is purely, from my perspective. It could resonate with other people's perspectives. I'm not saying it ain't. I just don't go around and say a lot of people to be calling out a whole bunch of people's names. But what I can do is announce my responsibility of my interpretation of what is going on. So being that the God is talking from Pluto location would follow the white rabbit, first of all, is definitely all about, the white rabbit is all about Pluto in my personal opinion. Meaning that the extraordinary always, Pluto is like the birth planet of extraordinary. The birth planet of pushing you to take leap of faith. The birth planet to push you over the edge. The thing that irritates you. The thing that is so most painful in your life, and then you look back on it and you like, damn, I got through it. That is the kind of energy that I perceive Pluto to be, especially with this message. It don't mean that, I can't say it's not something significant, and I can't say that it is. I'm just saying that the God is sitting here, want to sit here and bring out a whole discussion about some supernatural events within the next 72 hours, because that's what this is about. I'm running it for a whole month, but right now this message is getting broken down into 72 hours. So within the next 72 hours, it wants you to be aware and be focused. Okay? Now, some things that can impact you on being aware and being focused, in my opinion, is your conscious level, whether you think Pluto is a planet or not. If you think Pluto is not a planet, well, listen, you are woken and you are aware that Pluto is not a planet. So whatever supernatural things that you see will probably be in, I can't believe that is really happening. That's one vibrational feeling. You believe Pluto is a planet, always will be a planet. Well, your bad can play tricks on you. The supernatural could just be happening and be looking like a light beacon going off, and you like, yo, why is my bad playing tricks over here at this point in time? So, I have 3 separate decks out here because there's, from this energy right here, I wanted to know the stages, reasoning, or influence, so I picked a special deck. So one of them is a reasoning. So it's going to deal with, under this, integrity. So integrity is going to be part of this transformation conversation that the guide want to talk about. Another influence card, perception. I kind of dropped down a little bit of the perception already in the beginning as an example. That could be it. It might not be totally 100% isolated to it. Okay, and the final card of discussion is wisdom. And this is the reasoning. So we got 2 influences and we got 2 reasoning. Okay, so that's going to be the topic for everybody who would like to continue to come over to watch it. Come on over there and watch it and check it out. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what's going on. So let's get, as far as me, I'm going to get into the first one. The first one is all about integrity. I'm not sure, I can feel the messages coming on. But I'm going to shuffle these cards and see what Pluto want to talk about when it comes to integrity and how this, how do integrity Why should somebody even utilize integrity as a reason, as an influence? Why? Hold on, Pluto. Why is integrity an influence energy in someone making the spontaneous decision or whatever integrity lies at inside of this follow the white rabbit message? What is the conversation that you want to let me know about the influences when it comes to integrity for me to translate to my platforms for who wants to hear it? I'm going to start off with 3. Start off with 3 cards. It was supposed to come out. Alright. Currently underneath of that, we got the 4 swords. The 4 swords for me, straight off of instinct, says, I don't know, to me it's allocating the location. The awareness. So let me just get into try to figure out what this message is, okay? So the the Lovers card came out. It's not in complete reverse, but it is headed for reversal. And that came out going with the 7 of Swords. I feel like this is talking about some commitments. And with inside of some commitments, right? Sorry about that, me kicking the camera. With inside of some commitments here, integrity has been a hot topic. It's been a justification for contracts. And is the justification with an integrity of these contracts. No, whether these contracts is, coming from Pluto, a contract is just like something sextiling, something squaring, something even in opposition, something in trining. It could be, you enter a contract by getting pregnant. You enter a contract, both parties, by having sex. You enter a contract when you go into your job. The job that you got is a contract. It's so many different types of contracts, okay? But it is definitely talking about contracts with this Lovers card. And the integrity within inside of a lot of contracts lately, the integrity levels seem to be low, or not justifiable, or contaminated, or corrupted, or tainted, vanity, sleepwalking contracts, meaning that people walking into contracts not consciously aware. That's what I mean by sleepwalking contracts. The reason why I say that is because Also, what came out is the Six of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the High Priestess. And the Three of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. Okay. So, it's like, within the next 72 hours, some people are just going to feel some shifts. Now, these shifts going to be a combination of both, far as the overall dynamic, meaning that I cannot, it's not isolated to an internal shift, it's not isolated to an external shift. It's isolated according to the contract that has came up. It's like you filed a lawsuit and you wait for your case to see whether your case gonna get placed on the docket. Okay, there's some contracts on the docket. Within the next 72 hours, it's like these contracts going to have a shift. There's two types of shift that's going to happen. There's one that's negative and there's one that's positive. Because of the High Priestess being up here. These shifts, like I said, is involving contracts that has the least amount of spiritual integrity at this point in time. It's not consistent of human integrity. It's consistent of spiritual integrity, which is hard to define because that is based on your events, your archives records, and so forth and so on. So I really, they give me words to say, but when it comes to if I can't translate it no more, then I just can't translate it no more. That's just all to it. It just has something to do with the archives records and our current conscious awareness of time and events. That's the only thing that I could say about it. Okay. So within another 72 hours is the first shift that's going to happen from Pluto. Okay, I'm going to say that this shift is just like putting a X in a box or a check in a box. I would not, at this point in time, if it makes you read more into it, then do what you got to do. If you got the patience just to wait to see what's going on, do what you got to do. That's all I could say. If the message is resonating with you, you like to book a private reading and go in detail with your situation, if, that's what's up. We could do that. But, this is the God talking on a national broadcast type of way. This general energy, okay? It's just whatever the God want to talk about, okay? So the next one I'm going into is perception, okay? So Pluto, the next conversation piece, the card that you have selected has been perception related to this. So why is the influence of perception? Well, not why is. What do you want me to translate for you as perception being an influencer card within the next 72 hours? What is it you want me to translate about it? Try again with 3 cards. Okay, well, we got more than 3. Underneath for the deck, we got the 2 of Imps. For a traditional way of talking, this is the 2 of Wands. Some people might could figure it out what it happened to fire that's up in there and the fertility that's going. So some people might know it. So the first card came out is with the Knight of Bats. Your perception, I feel like with this Knight of Bats, what Pluto was trying to say is perception is a non-verbal and verbal type of communication. If you know yourself to the point that you know that you like verbal communication more better, if you feel like you prefer verbal communication better, but you use more nonverbal communication, then you might want to be definitely into an internal and external type of perceptional view. And I feel like that's, because it's an influence. I'm speaking of the way that you influence perceptionally. Right now, I'm going to feel like nonverbal communication is higher due to the digital world. That is not a verbal communication, even though it seems verbal. It's more non-verbal far as my perspective. So being that I'm the vessel that's channeling these messages, you got to consider that some of my experiences is what they use to manipulate for me to translate. So if computers and social media is a concern of what you really prefer, then you is more nonverbal. You trust the supernatural world. Regardless if it's all about you, including if you FaceTiming somebody, that will make you feel like, okay, I like verbal. Okay, depending on if every last one of those is FaceTime, if every last, your ratio gotta be really at a 90% of FaceTiming conversations. 90% of dialing a telephone number and really communicating. If you know that 90% of your communication is not really in that category, then keep yourself in a nonverbal, meaning that you might experience glitches. And that glitch could be just as normal what you already experienced, and this is the part that really fucking sucks. But it don't really mean nothing. It could just mean that because Pluto is a transformational energy and very creative, okay, in my perspective, that could just mean that somewhere in your vicinity, which I was saying once again about the internal and the external aspect, this is something that's going on as a combination. Internal because you reacted. Now your consciousness might just keep you asleep and make you feel like, damn, the computer's going back down again. Or your consciousness might wake you up and be like, what is going on? Why did this just happen? And it just could be the vibrational flux, but inside of your area right there, you felt the vibration of a transmission that was going around within this 72 hours. So it's also one of these kind of situations where, once again, if you kind of like a real nosy person, the message is resonating, so you feel like Pluto is ready to come to transform, well, you're going to fall down the rabbit hole. That's where, the perceptional view of curiosity meets opportunity, because now you like, this resonated. It's just like the rabbit pulling out the watch and Alice going, I never seen it. But for you, you probably won't say I never seen it, but it might be more like a aha moment and everything started clicking, which curiosity meets the cat. Curiosity meets opportunity. So that's that's the best way I could explain Pluto on some basis of perception. There is going to be some weird moments. Like I said, you know, it will keep you woke or it's going to wake you up. Now, far as let's see what other cards came out. So what else came out is the Six of Imps, the Three of Pumpkins, the Seven of Pumpkins, and the Six of Pumpkins. And that is crazy because we got the Three of Pumpkins, the Seven of Pumpkins, and the Six of Pumpkins. And I mean, the Six of Pumpkins will be the part that's representing, like, okay, how can I say it? Well, the Three of Pentacles too. Pluto transmission, your computer, and your reaction, and where it needs to get to. Okay, so the Three of Pumpkins will definitely be Pluto using your computer and your reaction and your environment. The Seven of Pentacles will be right there at that point in time of where you be like, what is these computers is going down, or that message resonated. That'd be like the Seven of Pumpkins getting going. The Six of Pumpkins is the whole stage, because it's like once the Seven of Pumpkins is going, it's like you taking, it's feeling, you're not, it's more or less you're getting caught up in the pool, so you're getting off track, okay? But you is getting on track and you're not getting off track, because you're kind of like in the Seven of Pumpkins, but in the Six of Pentacles is being protected, as your curiosity is right there. And as long as you have your curiosity, have the ability to say, you know what, I've been nosy a little too long, I think I need to back the fuck up. You was awoke to get up to fall in a rabbit hole, but once you fell up in a rabbit hole, you became aware and kind of went back to sleep. What I mean is, your curiosity took back over, so you kind of forgot what your focus really was, and that's that nosy part. So you became aware of your new current environment, but you went to sleep from where you just left from. Type of Six of Pentacles, especially with the Seven of Wands. That's what I'm saying. The Seven of Wands is saying you guard it for the pretty much the most part of it. Is not like, it should not be too much force beyond your sedative curiosity being a force, which is your perception. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay. So, and that's why the Seven of Wands is there. I do feel like if it's anything on the negative aspect, especially with the Two of Wands, the Two of Wands is stating, Two of Wands is bringing in the positive and the negative, because it's, to me, the Two of Wands is like playing the role of the minor arcana version of the Judgment card, okay? And it's between the Judgment card energy and the Temperance energy, and those two fusing together is making the Two of Wands be presented right here as the shadow card, okay? And then it got the Ten of Coast, and then it has the Eight of Imps. So it is one, because I mean, curiosity means is a judgment call. You have to make that judgment call to be awoke or not. And when you can be awoke, it don't mean that another part of you won't go to sleep. Meaning that, the subconscious version of you, like forgetting where you was focused on and went to sleep night. But you still aware. You just switch your focus around, more or less, to something else. And then, yeah. So, Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. I don't know. I can really relate to a little bit of this perception for today. My day is really like a domino effect, and it's like curiosity is driving me right now on whether to control this domino effect that happened from today, as in doing extra stuff, or do I just sit back and wait and see the domino effect? And it's kind of funny how this is coming up from Pluto, but but I appreciate it, because it's like I'm getting my own clarification, like I'm doing a reading, and I think that's the part why I like sometimes, what the best part of having the cards face down. Because you just never know what the top of the discussion is. It's like I'm vibing with this one part. Now, the integrity of it, I could feel that integrity being a little bit in my situation. But it's tricky. Because, yeah, the integrity part is more like the strategic, the plotting, the way to know that you can't cover every basis in a human way. But you have to be able to, for me, I have to be able to still accept responsibility for what I know not of. So the integrity part haven't really came in yet. And I'm also saying this because, seeing the cards after they come out, I'm just letting people know that they could be into a episodic situation. Okay, it could be part of a dialect, because right now mine is episodic, because I could see the dialect aspect of the integrity. So that means what I'm trying to say is the perceptual part was more external. The dialect is the internal part going on with integrity. It's like in a dialect type of stage. So it's kind of cool. I don't know if that'll help people out a little bit, to be able to, come up in here and do it and get one. That's what's up, Pluto. At least I know you got some influences. You ain't really one of the main ones always talked about. I don't even know what planet, what zodiac up in there right now, but that could play a role too. I ain't really look, because how could I look? I didn't know you was coming out. So let's get me to the last one, wisdom. And see, now that going to wisdom, I might as well, since I brought down this little mediumship of my own self and filtered my energy up in here for sure, even more. The wisdom part is right now where I feel that I'm more at in the integrity. But what I'm trying to say, I see the integrity as a dialect, and usually if you're having wisdoms, a lot of people feel that integrity is there, and I'm not knocking it. If that's what way you feel, that's fine. But me to function in this world, wisdom and integrity is not always encompass into a equal division or humanitarian type of thing. It is definitely, self-centered, and I really think so. It's a very self-centered thing. It doesn't become dictated as a good, bad, influential vibration or anything until you release the energy out and somebody decides to judge it, other than yourself. Now, you yourself have to be honest with yourself on it. And really, that's where wisdom comes in at. Because wisdom is like looking at history or believing, your spiritual guides, your teachers. And that's, in this situation, Pluto. Why believe Pluto? Why believe that Pluto got your Akashic records? Why believe that Pluto actually going to do some spontaneous things in 72 hours? Really, you don't have no reason to believe it. To be honest, nobody does, not even me. Who even to say, Pluto is the one that's giving you that wisdom? You don't have to believe it. Because I'm really talking to a guy. And this guy just resides over there by Pluto. It could be the other sun that's over there that's actually talking and just didn't want to come up with the sun card. It could be one of the other moons that's over there actually talking, just didn't want to come up with the moon card. It could actually be just a star constellation of a guy. And just wanted to say, and Pluto is just representing that I'm about to create some transformation within the next 72 hours. I mean, that's what wisdom is, right? Wisdom is knowing and not knowing. For me, some people think wisdom is all about knowing. I don't think wisdom is all about knowing. And the world just showed me that. The world showed me that. I'm saying that just from looking at why we cry. Why do humans cry? Why do anything cry? If it was all about knowing. If wisdom was like that. That's what I always ask myself. I don't think wisdom is all about knowing. But for the ones that do, I'm not mad at you. I'm not trying to convince you nothing otherwise. And I hope you can show me the same respect and just, agree to disagree. Because, I'm going to disagree with you, but I'm going to agree. At the same time, I'm going to agree to accept your point of view. I agree. That is a right thought for you. I agree. So, Pluto, what would you like for me to translate? I'm going to start off with the 3 cards again to the public about wisdom. Why wisdom is a reason here. Why is wisdom the reason? What do you want me to translate for you about this wisdom card? It's funny how the Tower came out, and the Tower is at the bottom of this deck. I want to see the Tower over here. No, it's the 4 of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Chariot, and then the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands was over there in the shadow dynamic. I just wanted to see. Underneath at the bottom of the deck, we got the Eight of Pens. The Eight of Wands is hot in the shadow. So what first came out is the Tower. Then the next card is the Ten of Rails. Then the next card is the Three of Pistols. Then we have the Two of Pens and the Ace of Pens. Over here, the shadow dynamic was the Two of Wands. And this set of cards, the Ace of Wands, came out. The Ten of Pentacles and the Tower. The Tower was close to over there after the Eight of Wands. The Ten of Pentacles is now coming up instead of the Ten of Cups with the Three of Swords. I feel with wisdom being the reason, the way Pluto, if I'm listening to Pluto right, the Tower card is representing your free will to change your mind. You know, and the Ten of Pentacles. It's your ability to change your mind. And yeah, wisdom influence it. What is your name of wisdom? That's where the Three of Swords kind of come in at. Because it's like, really your choice name for wisdom is experience. Life experiences. Your trials and testimonies. The reason why you are the way you are. Even if it is outside influences, wisdom is something from the outside. Wisdom is not just something from the inside. Wisdom usually activates what's inside from the outside. It's an activation process. The Two of Wands to the Ace of Wands. There's an activation in wisdom. A lot of things, like the Three of Swords is also trying to say is, wisdom ain't even a category. Wisdom is nothing but energy. It's a God. It's a goddess itself. It's everything that you know and breathe. It's part of your life force. Ace of Wands. But it's something that really hurts when you're trying to get to where you want to get to and live in the world with the Ten of Pentacles. Well, wisdom is just like love. It hurts. You're taught to compete. You're taught to do great. You're taught to not learn. That's how wisdom motivates. But yet you still learn something. Even somebody who don't even graduate still learns something. But it's wisdom that causes a lot of Tower moments. Whether the Tower moment is because you're going through bills and things is getting rough, whether it's being a single parent, whether it's trying to fulfill your parents' dreams, whether it's trying to find yourself. The Three of Swords is there. So baby, this transformation is all about, in the next 72 hours, wisdom. Since it's the reason. A lot of people like to associate Scorpio with the Tower. And it's kind of like a Pluto coming with wisdom, which Pluto does have, and has your archives records. Well, we got the 8 of Pens, the 2 of Rails, and the 4 of Coffins. And then the 5 of Rails. Well, it's definitely going to be some births, deaths, figurative, literary, metaphorically. Maybe it's all about balancing out people, since we done got very intuitive. We done went into this digital world. Maybe it's here to balance everybody out, so maybe we could be able to communicate better again. But Pluto is about to do some uprooting. And there's some lessons to be learned for whatever locations, whatever spots. And this is only 72 hours. I don't know who's going to be the next god to come up front, or whether Pluto will be back again. But I hope y'all enjoyed the God message. For what it's worth. Until the next time, y'all stay positive and be safe.